Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Championship predictions video. And today, myself and Ollie are going to be talking about game week 11. That is what we're saying now, because before we weren't too sure whether it were 9 or 10. But as soon as I saw Benjamin Bloom put that it was game week 10 last week, I was like, Benjamin Bloom does not get things wrong. So if it is wrong, you know to blame. So it is game week 11. I'm going to bring Ollie in now. Welcome to the stream, buddy. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. I've had a shocking predictions week, and I've been proved wrong when I thought it was game week 9. So all in all, I've had a shocker of a midweek. But hopefully we're bouncing back and we're coming at the weekend fresh.
Exactly. So I'm going to bring up on screen right now what happened and relate to what you've just said about having a shocking week. And I'm going to talk you through it because, as you can see, I had a very, very shocking start to this midweek. 5 games wrong in a row. But luckily enough, Preston versus Burnley got me that 3 points I so needed. And then did quite well last night, getting 3 correct results. So I end with 6 points. Ollie ends with 4. And what does that do to the table, Ollie? Well, I've not got it here, but that adds 6 onto my total, 4 on to your total. And how many did the viewers get, mate?
So the viewers, we've got some old favourites back on top. I've already seen him coming in the comments. He knows he's had a good week. JohnEgan.com is top of our leaderboard once again. 9 points and another great showing from him. He was only tied with W&G Fan. Now, W&G Fan, me and Nick have debated this. If you're in the comments, if at any point you're watching, what is W&G? Please let us know, because we need to know what it is. But yeah, all in all, the viewers had a much better week than we did. But even then, not quite reaching the heights of the last few weeks when we've been getting those 10s, 11s, 12s.
No, it's been a wild week. Some crazy scorelines with QPR beating Millwall away. Not that crazy. But we've got Sunderland a 3-0 away win. Birmingham beating West Brom away from home 3-2. Boro going 3-0 down. They managed to get 2 goals. They've done that a couple of times, haven't they, this season, Boro?
They seem to be able to sort of come back a little bit, but the things are not well at Boro, I don't think.
No, it doesn't sound like it. And
I wouldn't want to be one of them.
No, definitely not. Would you like to see the predictions table now?
Yes.
There we go. 90 for the viewers, 64 for Ollie, and I've crept back in contention after being 5 points behind Ollie, and now I'm only 3. So there we go. Viewers, as we always say, running away with it.
Yeah, but I'm pleased to still have that little bit of a lead ahead of you. Obviously, it's that mega week I had last week has really extended that, because I think overall, when you look at it week by week, you are actually ahead on a head-to-head if we were just counting it that way, but we're not, so it doesn't matter. So I'm still winning, Nick. Look at it that way.
No, I said this to you earlier, and all joking apart, it's just great that we are quite neck and neck, really. Okay. Every week, you're like 1 week you're doing better, next week I'm doing better. It's quite fun to watch. Anyway, let's get into game week 11 and Swansea versus Hull City first up.
Yeah, it's a weird game, this one. Obviously, Swansea, we've played them midweek, and I was impressed. Thought Swansea were a good side. Thought they played some really nice stuff. I think when they got to a decent position, they tried to overplay, just shoot sometimes, just shoot. And it's going to be a real kick in the teeth for them, because they'll feel as though they deserved more than that last-minute win.
Yeah.
I'd say that without a smile on my face next time. They deserved more than being beaten in the last minute. That will have really hurt. But I like Hull. They've had a shocker of a result midweek. They really didn't turn up. They've surely got to try and bounce back. Both of these really are in quite bad form looking at their last 5. But I'm backing Hull. I think they're better when they don't have the ball. And I think this is a game where they're not going to have much of the ball.
There we go. And I've gone for the exact opposite scoreline to you. 2-1 to Swansea City. Swansea are in the bottom 3, though. They are 3rd bottom, which is quite scary for them. And like you said, I don't think they were too bad against us the other night. I thought they were better than Hull, to be perfectly honest. But probably only just shaded it. That's the reason why I've gone 2-1 Swansea. Now, the big one of the week, I'm joking. Birmingham City versus Coventry. And I'll tell you what, Coventry, did not do too badly in midweek, did they?
No, they got a decent result. That's not a bad point for them to be able to pick up. I don't think anybody was expecting them to. They probably just want this international break, though. It couldn't have gone much worse for them this first for us, 10 games, for them, about 7. I think,
6,
they'll be
actually.
hoping. Is it 6? Oh.
Yeah.
So they will be hoping to get the international break out of the way, regroup, and come back at it. Birmingham, on the other hand, have just had 2 really, really good results in a row. That's 2 fantastic wins they've got away from home. They'll be coming into this on a high, and I think they're going to lose.
I was just going to say, I'm sure you've got them losing.
Yeah, and I think they're going to lose. I think at some point, Coventry have to stand up and be counted. I still don't really think Birmingham are that good of a side, and I think eventually they are going to continue to drop. I've just got a feeling for Coventry on this.
There you go. And JohnEgan.com thinks that Birmingham are going to win. James Stribley thinks that Birmingham are going to win. I've gone for a draw. So, we'll have to see what happens with that one. That is, funny one, with Birmingham being quite good recently and Coventry finally stopping the rot because they were I don't know how many games exactly, but I've got in front of me that they lost before the last one. They lost their last 4. So there must be only one other game. That's a draw. It is, because they've got 6
game of the season
games
against Sunderland.
Yeah, 2 draws, 4 defeats. So, not going good for them. But at least they've stopped the rot and got a draw. And scoring 2 goals away from home is always pretty decent. Yeah. Burnley versus Bristol City.
I think it's Bristol City. I saw even people in the chat last time were starting to call me out. So I'm really having to look after myself and make sure I get this right. As much as I get slagged because I get the name wrong, I've been very clear that I love Bristol City this season. I think they're fun. I think they're fantastic. They are the team that I want to watch most that isn't United. And Sky have got to start putting them on telly. Get them on telly every week, because that's where the goals are and that's where the fun is. And I just think that's going to continue. Just think they're goals.
Yeah, just outside the playoffs as well. Burnley 5th, Bristol City 7th. Ole has gone for a massive 3-3 draw, but I think that we're going to have pretty much the same scoreline, just Bristol City scoring 1 goal less. I've gone for a Burnley win, but at the same time, I'm still not that enamoured with Burnley.
No, Burnley are a weird one. They're unbeaten in the last 7 across all competitions, and yet they just seem to draw so many that it doesn't feel like it's been that good of a start from them. I think they at some point will kick on. I think they will get better, but I just don't see this being the game for them. I think if you're going to attack them and you're going to really go at them, I think you can get at their defence. I think that's what's going to hold them back.
There we go. Bristol City 2, Burnley 1. Apparently 1-1 there, 3-3 there.
Not even know.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody's saying that that Burnley are going to win this game. So hopefully they will, and hopefully they'll win 3-2. Huddersfield Town versus Cardiff City. This is going to be one for the ages. This is going to be one for the record books. And do you know the reason why I'm saying that? It's because I think there's no goals in this game.
Interesting game. This, obviously, Huddersfield just sacked the manager, waiting to see who's going to come in. Is that going to prompt a response? I think it will. Cardiff have had a fantastic result against Boro midweek, but I still don't think there's enough goals in that team. I think that new manager bounce might help Huddersfield out. They can then get a man in over the international break, and maybe they'll improve. Probably not, but I think they'll win this. Do think it'll be boring, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 1-0 Cardiff. 1-0 Cardiff. So nobody thinks there's going to be more than 1 goal in this game, and I love that. I absolutely love it. Luton Town versus a rejuvenated Blackburn Rovers, we could say.
Yeah, they're a weird team, Blackburn. They seem to be up and down. I was checking earlier. I don't think they've got any draws at all yet this season. Now, for me, the sign for Blackburn is if they start to actually draw games that they've previously been losing, that's a positive. I think that gives you consistency. I think when you've seen your team draw a few, you actually know your level, because it means that you're able to scrape things through when you're not playing well. It means that you're able to really keep yourself in competition. And so I think that's what they're going to get here. I think that's going to be a real positive result for them. They might not think so, but I think a draw gives them the consistency. And I think this is a good point if you can go away to Luton and get one.
Right, there we go. And you've gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone for a 2-2 draw. So we're on the same sort of lines. In the comments, we've got a 2-1 Blackburn win, a 1-1, a 2-1, a 1-0 Blackburn. And Hal loves getting his 1-0 scorelines right. Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to see what happens in that game. But it's nice that we've both gone for draws. Well, it's not. It's boring. It's boring. Millwall versus Blackpool Football Club, Ollie. Now, you love Millwall. You absolutely love them, and you love predicting them to win games of football. I've got a feeling you've done it again, haven't you?
Yeah, almost certainly. So Millwall at home. Don't know why. I love Millwall at home, but this is not about Millwall. So yesterday, for my sins, we had a group of friends come down. We all got together and I actually went to the Rotherham versus Blackpool game. We went as neutrals, just sat and watched the game. Blackpool were absolutely awful. It was as bad a team performance that I've seen this year. They were absolutely horrific. They might bounce back. They might be able to do something, but I can't see it. I can't see how well, I think they're in trouble if that's their standard because it was really, really bad. So, yeah, Millwall to win this. I always back them at home. I'm definitely back them against them.
Wow, I am surprised at that. And Wednesday fans are going to love seeing a Sheffield United fan going to watch Rotherham when they're not playing Sheffield United. I've gone for a 2-2 draw because I did not see Blackpool play against Rotherham. Blackpool are above Millwall in the table. I feel like Blackpool score a lot of goals. I don't know whether that's a myth, whether that happened earlier in the season. Yeah, I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I'm happy with that. Let's see what happens. Next up, we've got Norwich City, who can't stop winning games of football. Stop it, Norwich. It's too much now. And they've got West Brom. And West Brom don't seem to be picking up too many wins at the moment. So it can only go one way, surely.
Yeah, there's only one winner here for me. You know, they've won 6 on the spin now. They're absolutely flying. West Brom, we all thought they turned it around when I think they stuck 5 past, I think it was Hull. And we all thought, right, that's the catalyst. They're now, I've been calling them XG Albion. I've been laughing at them. They've scored 5 in a game. They're now going to be fantastic and they're going to go on a run. No, I told you last week they draw every game they play. And I just feel as though it's not getting better for them. I think Steve Bruce will probably be starting to feel a little bit of pressure, especially after they lose this game. I just think Norwich will have too much for him.
There we go. And you've gone 2-0 and I've gone 3-1. Very, very similar score lines. Next up, we have Preston North End against Sheffield United. Oh, wait. Shall I give them their full title? Preston North End 0.
Perfect. Love it. They have at last, you know, we say that, we're mocking them, but they managed to have 2 goals in one game. 90 minutes and there were 2 goals. They scored.
Not by them, though. Not by them.
But they managed to score and concede. That doesn't happen at Preston. What's going wrong? It's weird. You know, their season, I still can't get my head around it. But for me, they're a decent side, but I just don't think they're anything to really write home about. I think they've got obviously a really solid defence. I feel as though they're struggling going forwards. Emil Rees isn't hitting the heights that he hit last season. Whereas United, it was weird midweek because I didn't think we were particularly brilliant, but that was the kind of win that we don't seem to get very often. I know Statman had his stats about when the last time we won in the last minute was, and I can't remember what he said. But it feels like it's been a long time. That's 2 wins on the spin at home. I think if we don't lose this and we can get a point, that'd be fantastic. I would be very happy. But on the DL, I do think they will win this. I think we might win it.
If we don't win this game, this is my fault. Because I've gone for Sheffield United draws for the last few games and we've won. I'm now finally saying that Sheffield United are good away from home. And I've gone for a 2-1 win. Even though we don't concede many goals, I've gone for us conceding 1 and scoring 2. And let's just
3 goals in a Preston game, Nick. Are you right?
It's a true story. I didn't think about it. I just thought that the Blades are that good that we will score 2 goals. But yeah. 1-0 Preston, JohnEgan.com saying.
John.
It's not on, John. It's not on. James got Sheffield United 2-0 win. Yeah, another 2-0 win. Everyone's going for Blades wins in this game, including us. So, you know what that means?
Definite defeat.
Definite defeat. Next up.
Money on it now.
Yeah. Next up, we've got QPR versus Stoke City. And Stoke, they had a very, very good night last night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is the welcome to Stoke Alex Neil party, innit? You are really, you're putting your marker down, your first real big performance under a new manager. That's exactly what you want to do to get going. But QPR, you know, we've been talking about teams that seem to have goals in them. QPR are one of those teams. I think there's been 12 goals in their last 4 games. They've scored 8, conceded 4. They are a big goals team going both ways. I think they've been playing well, though. They're in very good form at the moment. And I do think they've probably got enough to see off Stoke here. But I think this is going to be another one of those barnstormers that I want to watch on telly.
3-2. Well, Stoke's shown that they can score goals now. So, yeah, you might be in with a shout there. I've gone for a Stoke win. QPR just feels so up and down at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure whether they're coming or going. They throw a loss in there every now and then, a weird loss that I'm not expecting. And this is the weird loss that I'm expecting this game. So I'm going Stoke 2-1. The Alex Neil show rolled right on. Watford versus Sunderland. Two, again, we keep saying it, weird teams. Like Watford sometimes look like absolute
world beaters.
World beaters. And Sunderland love going away from home against teams and sneaking a result.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Watford, and they've only won 1 in the last 5, I think. Now, if you're at Watford and you're a manager who's only won 1 in your last 5, I joke a little bit, but he needs a win. But Sunderland, you know, since Alex Neil walked out, have actually done quite well. I think they've won 2 out of 3, you know, but they are struggling. You had Ross Stewart's injury. I saw that Ellis Sims had gone off injured yesterday. If both of those players are out, I don't believe they've got anybody else to come in. It sounds as though it would be something like Jack Clark playing as a false 9. Now, he scored a fantastic goal yesterday, don't get me wrong, but I don't like him in that kind of position. So if they are missing both those strikers, I do worry a bit for Sunderland and where the goals come from. That's obviously never a concern for Watford. I think they've probably got enough to get over the line. Well, 2-0 is a bit more than just, but you think just.
Just for me. Yeah, just for me. Jack Clark is a false 9. I do not like that for a second. I don't like somebody playing up front that's got little to no strength. Yeah, that wouldn't be my first choice. But I've gone for a 2-1 Watford win. You've gone for a 2-0 Watford win. We move on to Wigan versus Reading. Some may say the big one of the weekend.
Yeah, we keep calling out these games that we think are really going to be top tier football. But yeah, Wigan have actually been all right. They've started the season well. You know, they just had back-to-back away wins. They got that bizarre result at Burnley a few weeks ago when they shipped 5. Since then, 3 unbeaten. That's a fantastic response from a team that coming up, you worry about a little bit for relegation. So they've shown that strength. They've been able to rebound from that. And I think they'll keep that going. You know, Reading, they either win 1-0 or they lose badly. They're another team that's not yet had a draw. And it's another team that I think actually would see a draw as a very, very good result. Because for them, again, it's about that stability. And that's when you can really find your level. And I think this is probably their level. So both teams who haven't got a draw yet, I think are going to draw today. And I'm going for Reading 1-1.
Wow, there you go. That's what Ollie's gone for. What's everybody saying in the comments? I'll quickly pop them up on screen now. So we've got a 2-2. We've got a 2-1 Reading. We've got a 1-0 Wigan against their biscuit men. I like that. I like that Hal uncovered that. Very, very good. I think Chris Barton is well behind in the video because he keeps popping up with comments that happened like a couple of minutes ago. So, Chris, just a shout out there, mate. Next up, we've got Boro. And do you want to talk about Boro at length?
Boro. I mean, what's going wrong at Boro? I mean, you get booed off at half-time because you're 3 down. You do manage to come back in the game, lose 3-2, and get booed off anyway. There is something not right at Boro. It's just not working for him. I know a lot of their fans are getting a bit restless. Last season, they were playing 3-5-2. We saw, obviously, under Wilder that we can really go for those 3-5-2 formation. It sounds as though they've adapted it a bit. They've got sort of a 10 in behind the 9 this season. They're sort of using the attacking midfielder instead, and that ain't working. Their fans don't seem happy with it. It doesn't seem like a great place to be. And I think they'll be really, really baying for blood in this one, really desperate to try and get the result. And Rotherham are not a team you want to play against if you're feeling that kind of desperation.
No.
They will just hold you off. I just think they got that in them, that steel, that resolve. They'll frustrate you, make you mad. And then they'll try and nick a point. And I think that Rotherham will be good enough to do it in this game. And I think Boro are going to be fuming come full time because they'll feel as though they deserve it. They should have won it. I think they're going to get a point. You do not. Oh!
I don't like Boro at the moment. I
No.
don't. I think Wilder's on borrowed time at the moment. Everybody. Every time you look at a West Brom, a Middlesbrough tweet, everyone's like Wilder out, Wilder out, Wilder out. This is going to be a really, really tough game for them. I feel like Rotherham might just nick it. I don't actually think it's going to be 1-0. I think, if anything, it's probably going to be 2-1 or 3-2 Rotherham. I think it's going to be very, very tight, but I do feel like there's going to be goals. I really do. Middlesbrough love conceding goals. I don't know why I went 1-0. Looking back now, I think I've made a mistake, but I do stand by the fact that I think Rotherham have got the minerals to win this game.
Yeah, I think it's a shout, to be honest. I think this is going to be low margin. No, you think there could be goals. I don't think there will. I think this is the quintessential 0-0 of the weekend. But it'll be interesting to see which one of us has got the right feel of this one.
Yeah, James is saying that he might have lost the dressing room. You never know. You never know. We all know what Wilder's like, though, don't we? Because normally when it's not going well, he calls people out and he expects a response. Maybe that's not going too well for him in the dressing room.
It doesn't always work that. And when you've made lots of signings as well, you know, their fans will say they needed them. They'll say that it's not all been massive money. You look at it however you want. They've brought in lots and lots of players who we would all look at and say they're high quality. That should be a team that is at the top of this division. The fact that they're not there, maybe there is something wrong in the dressing room. There's definitely going to be something wrong with the fans. It's not a nice place to be at the minute. They need to string some wins together, and I just don't see it coming.
No, neither do I. But if anyone can do it, Wilder can. But what I always think about when I'm reading these tweets from Boro fans is there's always Blades on there saying, "Don't worry, he always loses the first few games." And who were the last people to say that to us? Fulham fans and Watford fans about Slavisa Jokanovic. It just reminds me of that. It stinks of us saying, "Don't worry about it, he'll come good." Slav never came good. Let's see what happens. I'm a massive Wilder fan. I want him to do well. Not more than us, obviously,
yeah.
but
they can come second if they want.
He can come second. Yeah, it's a tough start for him, but yeah, we're still big fans of Wilder, and we do hope he does well. Anyway, we're done, mate. That's it. 12 games done.
Yeah, it's going to be a big weekend. This I want to get back on form because this midweek really has not been a vintage for anybody, I don't think. No. So yeah, let's get back on form. Let's have some nice, easy, predictable results. Less of that typical Sky bet and stuff that's easy to predict for once.
Absolutely, you're not wrong. So as always, I'm going to pop in the fixtures in the description. All you got to do is copy, paste, and then put your prediction, comment it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.